More people than ever before now live in towns and cities.
So instead of jetting off to the Serengeti, why not shoot local?
Here, wildlife's tamer, more familiar to your audience, and right on your doorstep.
I've been lucky enough to photograph animals in many cities all over the world, but Richmond Park in London is one of my favourite places to see urban wildlife.
I'm Sam Rowley here for Nature TTL, and I'm here today to help you photograph wildlife in the city. To find a good urban wildlife location, I have a somewhat unusual approach. I always start by going online, hopping onto Instagram,
Twitter or Flickr, and with a bit of clever searching, you can often find the perfect location, like for example, where to find a peregrine falcon in Bristol. My Flickr page has given it away. It seems in this case, Avon Gorge is a good place to find them.
But this technique doesn't always come up trumps. So sometimes you're just going to have to do the dirty work and find the location yourself.
A good starting place is a local park, just like here, where most urban wildlife tends to hang out.
Winter is a great time of year to photograph water birds in parks like Richmond Park. You get so many cool species that you can get so close to, just like this flock of shoveler right behind me.
I've seen teal, kingfishers, and even snipe, all on this very lake in the heart of London.
The birds here are so much tamer than in the countryside, so you'd be crazy to photograph them anywhere else.
By shooting at the right time of day, at the right angle, I've managed to surprise a lot of people by saying that these shots were in fact taken in London. Sunrise and sunset can be magical times in terms of light, but also a great time to find wildlife at its most active. So for most species, make sure to look for them at these times.
But if you're feeling ultra technical, ultra creative, and don't have anything to get up for the next morning, then shoot at night.
The crowds clear, leaving their litter and teasing out animals from their daytime hiding spots.
However, shooting in such low light can be a very daunting challenge for many photographers.
But remember, you don't need your own flash guns. In a city, there's plenty of natural ambient light providing lots of opportunity for things like silhouettes or bokehs. And with the quality of cameras these days, even the dimmest street lights can provide enough light for your cameras to operate.
But if you're up for the challenge and you want to use your own flash when photographing urban wildlife, then Nature TTL has some amazing tutorials to help you do just this. Now, when I'm photographing wildlife in the countryside, I'm usually after the wildest, the most pristine, classical shots as I can possibly take. Now, the thing about these shots is they've been done time and time again, and I think they're almost falling a bit out of fashion. But the thing about urban wildlife photography, it's an exciting new frontier, and in my opinion, is a lot more interesting. Let's take the deer of Richmond Park as an example. I would never get this close anywhere else, and it allows me to be that much more creative with my angles and with my positioning than I would elsewhere.
However, if this was in the New Forest, for example, you would find it difficult to move away from classic photos which have been taken and published 1,000 times before. But Richmond Park in London, there are so many stories to be told. The deer could be grazing on the rugby pitch, silhouetted against the distant lights of Canary Wharf, or even captured close up using a wide-angle lens and a remote trigger.
These are all shots that your audience will find instantly more compelling. One of the necessary evils of urban wildlife photography is being amongst the hustle and bustle that many of us actively seek to get away from. Obviously, people are everywhere in the city, but I've learned to try to embrace them in the shot. Take some little owls, for example, that I shot in this exact spot just a few years ago.
I was trying to photograph them simply perched on fence posts, but I was frustrated by people walking or cycling past.
But then I realised that people being so close to these amazing creatures is a lot more interesting than just a photo of a little owl sat on a post.
I certainly know which one of these shots grabs my attention the most. It's an image that I can relate to. I suddenly wonder how many owls I've cycled past before without noticing them.
I always ask the person in my shot's permission if I can see their face clearly in the photo. Also, it can inadvertently be a really interesting chat too. Many of the dog walkers and joggers will have been coming to these parks for years and may be able to give you some really decent tip-offs on any wildlife that you may have missed yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to NatureTTL's YouTube channel for more videos just like this in the future.